Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you a layout that features that cute photo of my youngest grandson in his Dumbo costume for his first Halloween. He didn't trick or treat per se, he stayed in the stroller because he wasn't walking yet, but oh my gosh, how cute that had to be preserved. So that black paper that I just put in the back there is going to become my background. And that is from Bella Boulevard. It's the Color Chaos line, and it's pickle juice strands. And I want to use this bright stripe paper because I want it to feel like a Halloween layout, but he's in bright, happy Disney colors, so I thought that just black and orange wouldn't necessarily be the most appropriate, I guess. So that stripe paper is from Bella Boulevard Color Chaos, and that is the months paper. So I'm going to use that just as it is in that chunk that's going to go across my layout, and I'm just kind of auditioning it in different spots right now to try to figure out where I want to put it. And I just went and grabbed my washi tape stash, and I'm looking for a washi tape to use as a border between the black and the stripe. It's ending too abruptly because the color contrast between the white of the stripe and the black paper is just too high. So I want something that will bridge that gap. And then I also know that I want some sort of tag to journal on. So I'm going through my Bella Boulevard tags here. They're from the Oh My Stars collection, and they're the gift tags. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this, and then I found that green one, which I thought picked up on the green stripe pretty nicely. And right now I have the photo of my grandson at the top. That is, however, going to change. The layout is actually going to kind of flip from what it is right now. But I have to get there first. The wood veneers that I'm using there are from Ellie's Studio, I should say. They came in a Halloween pack that they had. And then the other thing I'm going to be using there is that tree that you see there. That's from a cut apart paper that Bella Boulevard, it's a little bit older. It's from the Finally Fall collection, the Cute Cuts. I don't think they do those papers anymore, but they would do a bunch of large images on a piece of paper. So I remembered I wanted to do the tree, and if the stripe paper had stayed at the top, it would have looked like it was kind of hanging out in mid-air. So I'm going to change this a little bit. So now the stripe paper is going to go at the bottom with the washi border in between, and then everything will go on top of that. And you just saw me put down 2 pieces of washi, and the reason I did that is it was still a little bit too transparent. The color wasn't popping enough for me, and you could really see the stripes through the background, and I wanted it to be more of a border. So I just put a second piece over the top, and you can still see the stripe paper behind it, just not quite as much. All right, the other thing that I'm adding here is I'm playing with these Halloween rosettes, and they are really old. They came from the Girls Paperie, and they are from the Toil and Trouble collection. They're called Flower Market Crepe Paper. So those are, oh my gosh, they're old. I didn't put the date down, but I'm glad to be getting them on the layout. I had, I think, 2 packs of these, and I don't think I ever had the full Halloween collection of this, but what happened is they got buried in my stash, which doesn't usually happen to me. Usually I've got things pretty accessible, but when I did my my scrap room tour a few weeks ago, as I was going through, I found those and decided that they really needed to get on a layout. So now I'm just kind of playing with where those rosettes are going to go. I've got the tree behind the picture now, which I guess doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the picture other than they were outside. And I'm going to use a tag there for my journaling. Not that one, however. that is going to be on the layout, but it's going to move. And I'm auditioning a bunch of these pumpkins to see if where those can go and if I like them. And I just, for some reason, wasn't satisfied with the layout. I think that tag was just a little bit too much green in that spot. And I felt like the top left there didn't have anything in it and needed something. So what I'm going to do here is I changed the tag back out again for that orange tag, and both of these tags are from those gift tags from Bella Boulevard. Just so that the green wasn't all sitting right near the photograph. It just didn't look right to me. And now I'm playing around and using that cute costume wood veneer. And then I put that green tag up at the top left there. That takes up quite a bit of space, and it doesn't look like there's a huge blank space up there. So that is going to work for me. And then I decided I definitely want to back my photo on this orange paper to really kind of highlight that. I thought I would do it, but wasn't quite sure. I decided before I went any further, I needed to do that to sort of get what it was really going to look like and how it was going to lay out. And I like that there's a lot of orange right there. The fact that the orange washi tape is under the orange mat, very near to, it's going across the bottom half of his face, really draws your eye to that photograph. Plus there's so much gray in that photograph that it's different than the rest of the layout. There is a gray stripe in that stripe paper, so it does work together. You know, there's bright happy colors in all that stripe that are appearing in the photograph, including his cute little Dumbo hat there, which makes me laugh with the ears. But anyway, that all coordinates really, really well. So now I've decided that I definitely want to use the orange tag, and I want to use the rosette, and then I'm going to use that tall pumpkin just because it works with the tall tag there. Alright, so I have that cluster down, and that little rosette, the little banner across it says trick or treat. Now I'm coming back now and looking at my tree again. And I have the photograph fairly far to the right there, so the tree is going to actually need to sit off the paper a little bit, which I actually kind of like. It's a little bit unexpected, I guess. It's a little bit different because that piece is going off the paper, and the tag up on the top left will look like it's going off the paper to some extent as well too. Alright, and I'm having a hard time getting the trunk to sit where I want it to, is what's happening here. As you can tell. It's just was so thin and narrow compared to the rest of it. And I want it to sit just next to the mat, but I don't want any paper to be exposed, any black paper to be exposed between the orange mat and the black, or the dark tree trunk, I guess, there. There was something about that wood veneer that I didn't like how it was sitting, so that's why I had to adjust that. Alright, so now I definitely want to do this green tag up here. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to add my rosettes here and just play a little bit to decide which rosette I want where. And I'm also looking at that and thinking, you know, that the washi tape is only appearing in one spot, and I might want that in another spot. Those rosettes says, the orange one says Happy Haunting, and the top one there says Happy Halloween. And they are a little bit more, what do I want to say? It's serious. You know, most of the Bella Boulevard stuff is not necessarily cartoony, but bright and happy. And they're a little bit more like filigree and that kind of thing, those rosettes. But it's okay. I think it works pretty well on this just because it's Halloween product. And it really lets you know that this is a Halloween layout with all that black and orange then. and their major piece. All right, so then I decided to add that little bit of washi up there so that the washi's not just in the one spot. And then there's only 2 elements there right now, or there were with those 2 rosettes. So I went back into my wood veneers there, which were just to my left, and I added that little speech bubble boo. And I like the way that looks now because there's a trio of embellishments up there. It just feels a little bit more balanced. And that's true about the tag is there, and the pumpkin and the rosette on the bottom too, that there's a trio of elements. I guess there's not up by the tree, but oh well. All right, so I wanted to get a title on this, and I did do this layout this the weekend before I'm actually doing the voiceover. Paper Issues had a online spring crop, and I did it for one of the challenges. And the challenge here was to use to talk about a first. So I did first Halloween here, and I would have liked to spell out the word first here, but there wasn't enough room to do it, so I just decided to just write the word with the 1, I guess. You'll see this layout probably a month after that crop took place, so don't go looking for the crop challenges. Although I guess you could, and then you could just do them. It's just that you wouldn't qualify for any of the prizes or anything. It was really fun. They had 25 different challenges, and I happened to have a weekend where I was supposed to go away, had a sick cat, so I ended up with no plans for the weekend and was able to really scrapbook a ton. I did do a few things with friends, but I was able to spend a lot of time scrapbooking and binge watching the Gilmore Girls while I did it. I'm hooked on that. I didn't watch it when it was popular, but I'm really, really hooked on it now. And it's great to watch while you're scrapbooking, just because it's very dialogue heavy, so you don't have to watch it like you do some shows. Now that I've gone off on a big tangent there. But that helps. So those letter stickers are from Ellie's Studio. They're the letters and numbers in black. And they are the perfect font size for doing small titles or subtitles. I have them, I think, in all the colors that they make them in. I really, really love using that for those reasons. And I definitely need my Cutter Bee tweezers there because those letters are hard to get down. And what I'm doing there is I'm just trying to get them, the midline of the letter, to line up with the edge of the mat so that they seem to be connected to something. So they don't look like they're just floating. All right, so that looks good. I'm liking how everything looks there. The only thing I need to do now is I do still have a hole in one of those tags, so I'm going to grab my stash of twine, and I keep those in cigar boxes as well. And I just grabbed some of my black twine, and I'm going to put that in there. And that twine is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's the So Easy Fancy Floss, the neutral card. I don't know if they still make it. I've had this for a while. Just because I don't use twine all that often, but it's a good thing to have. All right, so I just need to do just a little bit of journaling on here about how cute my grandson is, and then the layout will be finished. I will have a still shot and a couple of detail shots at the end of this. Hope you're all well, and I will be back with another layout again soon. Bye!